And with that, I want to welcome everybody to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt DiOrio, your host, as always. And tonight we have a special guest. Someone I've been trying to get on the show for a little bit and just scheduling conflicts and all that. But tech extraordinaire, streamer, gaming host, all around, just jack of all trades. Trisha Hershberger is joining us tonight.
Booyah!
Thank you
What's
for having
up?
me.
It is a pleasure. We've got the Beanied one, Gerard Barrera.
How are you, everyone? Trisha, thank you so much for joining. I can't wait to get into it. Can't wait to hear your story. Because, man, going through your cycle
website.
of work, yeah. Oh my
It's
gosh,
too much. Don't do it.
Right?
I mean, like, but it's so impressive and so many different facets. Like, very impressive, and I can't wait to get into it.
And we are down the babyface one. Theo is
bummer.
stuck at work as usual.
Old work.
And lastly, sporting the classic Donkey Kong shirt.
There he is.
Come on, man.
Is our maitre d'
to.
services, the man with the couch, the man, the myth, the legend, the lion's mane, Jason Belledio.
How's it going, guys? How's it going?
What's
Trisha,
up?
thank you so much. Welcome to our little couch that we have here at Crashing Game Night. You know, hopefully you enjoy yourself as well as we're going to enjoy having you on the podcast tonight.
It's a perfect gaming couch, if I do say so
Yeah,
myself.
yeah.
Sweet.
It needs an upgrade.
I need to
been a
get
little
a new
bit.
one.
Yeah,
I know. It's been a
It
while.
it
since
has been a
I've
bit.
had
It's
this
been a
one.
while.
I gotta go shopping. You know, we'll shop a little bit around for a new one. You know, I gotta upgrade.
It's hard to
It's
find the
kinda-
right couch, though.
Yeah, because you know you gotta make sure it's long enough, and then you know, crumbs get in.
The comfort, the cushion.
Yeah, the
you know,
cushions.
yeah.
You know, you gotta make
It's
sure. Like,
kind of been Jason's thing now to have a couch since we did our first live stream a couple years ago with some of the Final Fantasy VII guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like it was just you went and got a couch.
yeah, and then
whatnot.
at the
So,
same time too, you know, I gotta like find it when it's a good time because then you know,
IKEA on
get
sale.
fresh butts on the seats. You know, these have been kind of worn
So-
down a little bit, but there's some good times with the couches. You know.
Yeah.
So Trisha, how are you doing? Because we were supposed to have you on last week, but then you got booked to go up to San Fran for the Google Pixel reveal.
Yes, I went up for the
Awesome.
Made by Google event. It was awesome. But I was
Nice.
so sad that we had to reschedule because we've been trying to get this on the books for so
I know.
long. But it's kind of the nature of freelance work, right? You book
Freelance
something and
and-
inevitably that's when more work comes along.
And
Yeah.
being
Um,
parents and having kids and
Yes, and all of that. But Made by Google was awesome. I got to see the Pixel 9 launch and the Pixel Watch 3 and the Buds Pro 2 and the new Fold, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold.
Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
I will tell you, I only got about 30 seconds of hands-on time with each device
Oh,
because
wow.
everyone there was like, my turn, are you done
Oh,
filming? Can I
oh,
film with
man.
it? So you know, we were all there trying to get our content.
Yeah.
But I do believe I'll get at least a Pixel 9 review device in the mail that I'll be able to
Ooh,
make
very
content
cool.
on.
Nice.
Nice.
You know, just box them out
Very
next
nice.
time. You'll be like, you know, like,
You know, I actually falter too much in the other direction. And then I go, oh no, you do it. Yeah, I'll just wait over here. I'll do it when you're done.
No,
And
Oh,
no,
that's
we
so
gotta teach
nice.
us a move. We gotta
No.
teach us some moves. We're
I
like,
know, it's
hey,
because I get
you know,
nervous
box
that
it in.
people are watching me. And like,
Oh yeah.
when I go to events, I never know what type of coverage I want to do because there's so many different
Mhm.
digital content creation mediums out there nowadays.
yeah.
Like, and I haven't made YouTube my main thing in years. So it's like, I'm not just there to create a YouTube video or just there to make vertical content or just there to take photos. Like, I'm kind of trying to do it all. And then therefore I don't know. I should go in with a better game plan is I think what I learned and then elbow people out of the way.
I don't know. Whatever you're doing is working because you keep getting asked to all these events, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
including
I'm very lucky.
Borderlands. You know,
Yeah, the
So I
Borderlands
gotta-
premiere was really fun. I mean, I had been following the news about the film
Mhm.
for a while, I think as a lot of us have.
Yes.
But when I was
Yeah,
invited
yeah.
to the Los Angeles premiere and fan event, and they were like, we're going to set up a Moxie's bar. And I was like, okay, that sounds
Sounds
fun.
cool.
Like, I
Cool.
want to go to
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And the cosplayers they had for it were insanely good.
Oh,
Like I saw some of your posts, your pictures and whatnot, and I've got another buddy of ours that was down there for it too. And I was like, man, those are excellent.
they did a great job.
I gotta ask you, in the background, is that a statue of Jessica Rabbit?
Yes.
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 Yep. And
this
then
back, I have so many random things on this back wall that, they're a
Mhm.
little bit bokayed out, so it's kind of hard to see
That is my
a lot of them.
that is
And-
my childhood movie, Who Framed Roger. I loved
Who
that
Framed Roger
movie.
Rabbit?
Yeah.
Yep, I have her in the back of all my videos because when I first started
Mhm.
making online content, we're gonna get real for a second here. When
Go
I
for
first
it.
started
Origin
making
story.
Online content. Everybody, on that channel. Which, by the way, we were talking about news stories. And everyone on the channel was like, "Oh yeah, like." Basically, because I am a bustier woman, I'm asking for these types of comments. And there was a lot of that. And so not only have I been a fan of Jessica Rabbit for years, but I really like the reminder of don't judge people based on their body type. She's not bad just because she's drawn that way.
She's just drawn that way.
Yeah,
She's
right.
faithful. She's a one bunny woman.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Mhm.
make assumptions about her behavior because she's curvaceous.
I love it.
And
that's why
she
she's
backed
in
up
the
her
background
man.
of my
That's
set.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you've got
Such a
Captain
good movie.
Carter's shield back there,
And Captain Carter's shield, yeah.
and Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
Loving
Nice.
it all.
the schmutz of stuff in the corner here is a 3D printed replica of Rey's staff from Star Wars.
Sick.
Wow.
A Workshop replica of Gandalf's staff, and then a master sword, a blacksmith made master
Oof.
sword. And you can't really see because I just put
Awesome.
them all over there. I need
Mhm.
more room.
Yep. I'm running out of room
That's
in my
so cool.
office and trying to organize everything so you can see it. Like, I'm probably gonna end up moving my desk so everyone can see my bookshelves again. Because over on the side, I've got all my Fantasia stuff. I've got all my PlayStation and Nintendo
Yeah.
and whatnot. And then on the other side of the wall, I've got my custom lightsaber up on a wall. Like, I want
Love
to
it.
be able to get that up there and whatnot. So
And what's the
But-
poster behind you, Matt? You have a PlayStation poster, but I can't see what it is.
that's from PlayStation Experience 2016.
Oh,
I've never got a chance to go, but I love the whole waterfall and everything,
yeah.
design. So it was something I saw on eBay once and I was like, yes. And I was able to get a hold of a second one for Jerry and send that out to him. So he's got one floating around, but yeah. And on one wall, I've got Uncharted and Metroid and Zelda and Horizon and
Heck yeah.
just complete gamer. So, but let's talk your origin story though, really, because and folks that are tuning in, you guys can go right on over to crashinggamenight.com. We've got a profile built for Trisha with
Oh my
all of her
goodness.
links and everything.
Yeah.
Yes, that whole thing I
Yep.
had you fill out is live and active on the website, so they can actually go check out your links and whatnot. But when you look at it, right, you've been a TV host, you've been to all these different tech events, you've worked with Nintendo, of course, Google, like we talked about, and
Mhm.
Dell and Twitch and Intel, Mattel, and I'm like, the list goes on and on and on. To Jerry's point, right? It's insanely long when you go look at your actual website on everything you've actually worked on and stuff like that. But you were on the Nerdist, SourceFeed, Fandom. So what got you into even going into this as a profession?
So, great question. And when I first got started doing this wasn't like a career. It wasn't a thing that people were doing, right? This was 2011, 2012 when I always say I tripped and fell into digital content because I was a theater nerd. That's as a kid, I played a lot of video games, but I was a theater nerd. Can't sing or dance to save my life. So let me give that disclaimer. But I went to school to learn how to do Shakespeare, graduated college and realized, wait a second, this was real dumb. No one pays you to do Shakespeare. That's not a career. What? I just wasted 4 years of college money learning how to do Shakespeare and Chekhov. I loved it. It fed my artistic soul, right? But I was like, what? How do I get hired now? What?
Oh no.
So I moved out to LA and just basically started auditioning for anything and everything. And I booked a couple things here and there, commercial wise and stuff like that, but I didn't know anybody. So I very rarely could get my foot in the door to even get the audition. So I was like, at least I don't have to feel bad that it's because my acting sucks, because I'm not even auditioning for them to tell me my acting sucks. Like, I'm not even getting that far, right? And one day I went to an audition that said it was for online news host. And I was like, all right, well, that's better than the waitressing shift I was going to take this morning. So that's cool. Yep. And I went in for it. And it was just like an audition that was publicly available online. So I submitted and they called me in. And I did some news reads off index cards. And as soon as I finished my news reads, they said, do you play video games? Which I was like,
oh my God.
Totally not related, but that's cool. And I was like, yes, actually, I was a theater nerd, so I didn't have a lot of friends, and I spent a lot of time playing video games, like my whole childhood. So yes, what console are we talking about? What generation of gaming? And I just had like a real nice chat with them about games. And then they were like, do you happen to know anything about tech? And I was like, why, yes, I do. I like stuck my way into CES 3 years running and had built my own PCs. And like, we just had the loveliest conversation basically about gaming, tech,
everything
and like the kind of books that
together.
I read.
Yeah.
Yeah. The kind of books I read, the kind of shows I watch, the kind of movies I like. And let me tell you, normally when I went for like on-camera hosting auditions, the interview after is where I lost the job. Because they would be like, what do you know about celebrity gossip? Like, because it's like for a red carpet interviewer or something. And I'm like, legitimately, I don't know anything about that. I spend most of my free time in my bedroom playing Diablo, which is probably this game you've never heard of. It's cool. I'll just leave now. But this audition, like the questions they asked, I was like, okay. And I remember leaving the audition and thinking, I have no idea what that job was actually auditioning for, but I think I nailed it.
Nice.
And so the next day they called me in, and it ended up being for a channel called SourceFed. That at the time I was called in for that audition, it wasn't even called SourceFed yet. It was called 20 Minutes or Less. And it had 3 hosts, and they were bringing them in 5 days a week. And like it was like a just starting out YouTube channel. And so when one of their 3 hosts needed to go to the dentist, let's say, they were like, I don't know what to do. So they were hiring for people to rotate in. And then what I found out later, after they had me on the proper news show quite a few times, they wanted to launch like a nerd news offshoot channel. And that's why at my audition, they were asking me about gaming and tech and what movies I like and stuff like that.
Nice.
But they never put that anywhere in the audition breakdown. So it was 100% just to like right place, right time. Like I'm sure the other news hosts that came in, if they were like, do you play video games? They were like,
yeah.
You know, like it's definitely just a right place, right time. And then that show ended up being a full-time hosting job for me. The channel got bought by Discovery Digital Networks. So we were Discovery Channel employees after a bit. We won 2 Streamy Awards. Like it was like a whole thing. But that definitely kicked my pants into gear in terms of digital media, because, you know, I was out here auditioning for, I used to say like, if it pays and I don't have to take my clothes off, I will take that job. Barney,
it's kind of like,
put on the purple head. It's cool. Like whatever. I just want to do a job. It's fun. And so, like that job was the first job where they were like, what's your Twitter handle? And I said, oh, I don't have one of those. And they were like, you're making one right now. What's your Twitter handle?
You know what? I didn't care about Twitter until 2015. And the only reason I even started up is because Theo, who's not here, we got invited. We won the public tickets for the Bethesda presser for E3 2015.
Yes. Maybe we saw each other there.
That's right.
But it was, so like I had gone to 2014. I was like, oh, this is really cool. You know, like let's try and do this, because Theo and I worked for IBM. Okay. How we got into E3 with industry passes was because, as a lot of people may not know this, but you know, IBM helped co-design the cell processor, and they helped co-design the Broadway chip for the Wii. So they were technically gaming. And we're like, we have no buying power. They're like, here, come on in. And for 2015, they had put out a little contest that for people that you could enter in to get public tickets to the presser. And I was like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm not going to win. Here we go. And it was like, sure enough. So we altered our flights and everything so we could make that presser.
That's
but yeah,
amazing.
that's
Yeah, I remember that year. I was so jealous when you guys got that.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Gerard, you weren't there?
No, we were there,
Jason
but
Jason
he's-
and I were there for E3, but we weren't there for the presser.
Yeah,
no.
But we were so ecstatic. But we were like, oh, dude, that's gonna be so.
But-
we were jealous. Yeah.
That's the funny part. We met because of E3, and I think that's
And-
what makes
yeah.
E3 going away so sad for me is because 2014, Gerard and I were in line for Disney Infinity when they had that
R.I.P.,
big
R.I.P.,
old
baby.
massive
R.I.P.
display,
Disney Infinity.
and we just started talking PlayStation, and we're like, hey, let's exchange, our PlayStation gamer tags and all that, and we decided to meet up in 15, and years later, we're all stuck with each other.
Yep.
Like even the
I love
podcast came
Yeah.
about because of us standing in line for Resident Evil 2.
1 year
Remake.
in E3.
1 year.
Yeah.
2018.
And this was like hour 3 waiting in line, while of course we saw nothing but press, like kind of
Go in
get in
front.
front, and rightfully so. We understand, but
Yeah.
this is
We got
when
it.
click. We were like, okay,
Gotta do something.
we need to see how, what does it take to get media passes.
You need to start a podcast.
Again,
Really
so
was, and
that
we
was the
didn't-
idea. Yeah.
And we didn't make it enough by numbers in 2019. 2020 rolled around when they started doing all the passes and stuff pre-COVID. We got the approval letter for
Finally
media
got it.
passes, and then 2 weeks later, it's like, nope, it's canceled for COVID.
Lockdown. Yeah.
Lock it
It's
down.
like, yep. And then of
We
course
were
we know
so
the rest is history with
Yeah,
E3
so-
and
So
Yeah.
there's just there's that little hole that we were really hoping to get at least 1 year
1 year
of media
Just one.
passes to kind of full circle the moment. But
Yep.
you know,
we had it all planned out, like
Yeah.
me and Theo are going to be the camera guys, Matt and Jay are going to be on the couch, and we're just like, all right, just watching,
Yeah.
just like, yo, we can see all these things like straight up, and
oh yeah,
have somebody,
Yeah.
have a representative, because we know that a lot of representatives come and talk to you about whatever is being advertised, and we're like, okay, that'd be so sick just to have a one-on-one versus like trying to like,
Mhm.
hey, over here, can you like help me out? And then just talk
Yeah.
to them real quick, like get that like 30 seconds in, you're like, oh, okay, well, I gotta help somebody else now. And you're like,
Yeah, well, there's always a PAX. You could do a PAX or two.
Yep.
if you're
yeah.
really
So
passionate.
I was gonna say there are other conventions that we can
Yeah.
always try and go for and complete it that way.
yeah.
So how did you feel? I mean, honestly, for being around gaming for so long, how did you feel though when we all finally got the announcement that E3 literally the final nail was put in the coffin and we weren't getting it back?
We had all seen it coming for
Yes.
years, but it was still really sad. I mean, you
Yep.
guys mentioned being at E3 in 2015. 2015 was like peak E3. 2014,
Mhm.
2015, like it,
Yep.
ugh. I have so
You walk in
many
the
good
door,
memories
there's
from
EA.
the years at E3 that it breaks
Yeah.
my heart. Like it was a time when lots of people could get together and just celebrate how much we love games. And like now
Mhm.
that kind of everyone's doing their own online pressers and stuff like that, I
Mhm.
feel like the gaming community at large is much more segregated by genre of game and sometimes
Mhm.
even by title of game. And we don't really there's not really that same sense of community of like, oh, you love games, I love games too, this is awesome. Like that's what you could feel in a very tangible way at E3 every year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And E3 went through its struggles of, are we media only, are we a fan event, are we don't know what we are we both, are we a
Mhm.
music venue? Like they tried so many different things and it didn't work. And then of course, as we all know, once pandemic hit and all the majors started pulling out and doing their own thing, then where was the money coming from? And we see how it went. But it's very sad, I think, for the game.
Yeah.
I think to your point, seeing it on the wall, right? I think was it 2016 was when EA pulled out and started doing EA Live. I think that
EA
was
Play.
the first domino where they started doing EA Play.
And I
Because
think
then it was like these big, massive floor
one of you guys
spaces.
said it too. Like that year when we went, you can feel it. Like
Yeah.
like when EA wasn't there. Like you said, that was the first domino. That year, you can feel it. Like something's missing,
and then
it just trickled on from there.
Yeah. But hopefully, you know what? I mean, with Jeff Keighley doing Summer Game Fest, and if he can get that a little bit bigger, I don't know. I didn't see any numbers on like how IGN Live did. You know, they kind of did that right around Summer Game Fest.
Yep.
You know, hopefully one of them can kind of pick up and be that tent pole for the summer, you know, around June, like we had it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like honestly both of them might. IGN was really focused on being a fan event, and Summer Game Fest, the in-person event, was press only. So it was kind of like those two halves of E3 split apart.
Which I mean, it does make sense. And then again, like having just fans and just having just press, because there are certain things that press are more interested in versus the fans. They're just like, oh, I want to see gameplay, I want to see like footage, versus the press like, okay, like we just need more like schematics, like what's going on, what can we tell people.
Yeah, press is, you know, trying to get dev interviews and behind closed doors demos that are under embargo, and the general public isn't really interested in any of that. They just want to go do the hands-on demos that aren't embargo that they can play, right?
When is it coming out? You know, what like
how
what does it look like when we play it? Is it in alpha stage? Like that's all like the fans are looking forward to.
I think too I think not having those in-person things, right, for even press and stuff, it takes away from it, because like we've done a couple of press events with Ubisoft. Specifically, I know Chris Navalta, who's part of the PR for The Division and X Defiant, he's always inviting us to those type of things. But it's like, you know, they have the B-reels and stuff that they show you, and like, hey, this is what it's going to be. You can talk to the devs a little bit, but it's not the same as if we were standing there. Like, I can remember when The Order, you know, was there at E3 talking to the devs from Ready at Dawn, you know, which
that was so fun. Yeah.
Sad to say, the studio has been closed down. Thanks, Meta. You know, but it was great to be able to just talk to them in the moment while we're actually playing the game and everything, and getting their opinions. Heck, we wouldn't have met the Final Fantasy guys had it not been for being on the show floor. Like John Eric Bentley just walked up to me and said, "What do you think of it?" Like, and we have been great friends ever since.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's those types of things that I think the gaming community, like you said, needs it desperately.
Yes. And that, I mean, that right there, just having a random encounter where you meet someone that does something completely different in the gaming industry than you do, but like now you're connected and you can collaborate, and like that's what that's about. Yep.
And you know, talking about, you know, summer events, we can segue right into Gamescom, which Jeff Keighley hosted opening night live, which 11 a.m. this morning Pacific time. You know, for us here in the States, it was over in Germany, but roughly, you know, 30-ish, you know, games were announced during the actual opening night's live segment.
Yeah, a lot was announced.
They kicked that thing off with a doozy of a teaser trailer with Borderlands 4.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. And how early did y'all call it was Borderlands? Because I was real proud of myself. As soon as they did the fire in the Phoenix and the planet, I was like, this is Borderlands. Clearly Borderlands. Here we go.
Yeah. So the Phoenix was sparking something, but then the meteors were throwing me off. I'm like, but like, okay, so what are the meteors about? And then when they pulled them out, I'm like, oh, damn it. I'm like, so no, I didn't catch it right away.
I saw the Phoenix and I was like, yep, there we go.
Oh, okay.
It's Borderlands. But to get to Jeff's point, right, the fact that nothing had leaked online, that we were getting Borderlands 4.
I know, that's really good, actually.
In this day and age right now, with all the leaks that we're having, that was impressive to at least get the teaser. You know, they said it's coming next year, so we didn't have a date or anything on it, but and then we got, you know, Black Ops 6 campaign, which I think at this point we've seen so much of the campaign now, it's like, is there going to be any surprises left? But what threw me off was the third thing, like Goat Simulator. That trailer that they did was like, It was
Okay, I
genius.
called
Like,
super early that
Did
was
you really?
Goat Sim too.
Oh, that threw me off too. I was like, what?
I
what
called
is
it
this?
when at first I said like, is this Goat Sim? And then as soon as the hoofs came down with the love and hate, I was like, oh, this is definitely Goat Sim. And I was co-streaming it with my community on Twitch. And they were all like, no, it's not. That's just a goat. And I was like, no, you wait.
It's the goat.
I was wondering what the heck it was like up until that point, right? I was like, this actually looks like it, like you're taking all these like potentially fairy tale creatures and throwing them all in prison together. I was like, this could be entertaining. And then all of a sudden you see the goat working out, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's Goat Simulator.
That's what was throwing me off when it was showing all the different characters. I'm like, oh, this looks interesting, and then the working out, and then the horns. I'm like, oh Jesus, no way. Yeah, there it is.
And then we got Persona 3, Dying Light, and then the launch trailer for Black Myth, Wukong, which to me, the more I see that game, the more it intrigues me, makes me want to try it.
It's fun.
And then I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, I already have enough in my backlog that I'm not playing, including,
That is the parent struggle right there. But yeah, I mean, that game, I just read an article this morning saying it's the #1 most played single player Steam game of all time. Like it's already beaten Cyberpunk.
I'm playing it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Like so many people
it's
are
very
playing
interesting.
And then it had that like weird content creator guidelines thing. I don't know how much you followed of that, but that was bizarre.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Yeah, it was, well, it is a foreign company, but so they have different rules, but that was weird.
Yeah, they had like extra, hey, here's a free copy of the game, but also don't talk about any of these things. We don't like that. And so of course for people in the United States, they were like, wait, you're going to tell me to not talk about what?
Exactly. Yeah.
We got a bunch of different like new studios and stuff that are announcing stuff. And I thought one of the ones, you've got Linked, Banner of the Spark from FuzzyBot. That looks like it'd be a lot of fun, getting to play that. The one that the trailer that really kind of hooked me though is Path of Exile.
Oh,
that one looked interesting.
I got to play a little bit of Path of Exile 2 at Summer Game Fest play days this summer.
Sick. Cool.
I enjoyed it immensely. I cannot wait for that to come out. Now, I feel like I've already mentioned Diablo at least once this podcast, but like that's one of the games I grew up on.
Yeah.
So like Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 being, I mean, I call them Diablo likes because they are.
Yeah.
And especially with like people not really being so thrilled with Diablo 3 and, trying to be hopeful for the future of Diablo. Let me just tell you, Path of Exile 2 is great. Really good. Really, really good.
What are the issues everyone's having with Diablo 3? Because like,
I mean,
and Diablo 4, like I haven't
Diablo 4, it's for me, Diablo 2 was the heyday. Diablo 3 was okay. It lets you go through on and on. So like, when you get to Paragon levels, you're feeling it. But then Diablo 4 just feels like a good looking Diablo 3, and you just didn't have as much like fun.
It's still Diablo 4 is still a vast improvement over 3 for me.
Yeah.
3 I feel like took the dark and scary and was like, it'll be more commercially viable if we don't do that.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more like just nonstop versus you can take a break, or like, hey, play with some friends, and then it will make it that much harder. Versus like, if you play a single player, then we'll spawn 10, versus if you play with 4 people, then we'll spawn 40 for you. It's like, well, okay.
The closest to those I've ever played in a game would be Torchlight and Gauntlet.
Okay. Gauntlet. Wow. Yes.
So that's a classic.
Can we get?
Oh my gosh!
Can we just get those back? That'd be great. Like,
didn't you? Isn't Gauntlet getting remade?
Remaster.
Yeah, Gauntlet remaster.
So there was the Gauntlet, but like Dark Legacy, right? That is stuck in licensing hell, and we will never get that back, right? But yeah, so among other things too, we've got, Dune Awakening. That trailer was gorgeous.
Yes. And I've gotten to see quite a bit of that game as well at this point. And the more I see of it, the more excited I am. I think people are going to be
It
really
looks like
happy.
an incredibly vast game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially with some of the the tools and stuff, like they were showing like the little robot and stuff and whatnot, and it's like, okay, I'm not
vast,
a huge fan of
not
Dune,
only
but...
vast in the sense of like not just the game, but the customization, I guess, the vehicles, the weapons. Like you can really, I guess, you can really create like your style of like that human or like that species. Well, so like I saw a few videos on it. Looks really interesting.
Super cool.
Looks like a very large game. Yeah,
they're very
cool.
true to the source material too. So like if people are coming into it because they're Dune fans first, it doesn't just feel like a video game with a Dune skin. Like they were very, very faithful to it, and they did a lot of things that are really interesting. Like you know, Gerard, like you were saying, where you can cater how you craft things to the type of character you're making in the game. Like if you spend a lot of time around or working for a certain guild, your blueprints of how to make something will be in the architectural style of that region and that guild.
That's cool.
Because that's who you would have learned that from, right?
Yeah.
Like it totally makes sense. They did a really nice job. It'll be cool.
Then right after that, they led right into Monster Hunter Wilds, which looks beautiful. I mean, any of the Monster Hunter games I've ever like dabbled in, which I've never really dove into them as much because they just never resonate with me, but they're always gorgeous games.
Yeah.
Like
and
the scenery,
they always
the
look
detailing.
so much fun. Yeah.
And people that are Monster Hunter people are all in Monster Hunter people. And
yes, they are dedicated.
What I've seen of Monster Hunter Wilds, which is I've seen about an hour of gameplay. Not that I've gotten to play, that I've gotten to see someone else play. But it's everything you love about Monster Hunter, just more beautiful. And now you can interact with the environment in different ways. And they've added some quality of life improvements. Like, you don't necessarily teleport right back when you're finished a hunt, or you don't have to go to a quest board to start a new hunt. If you start attacking a monster, it automatically quests you.
Oh, cool.
Like, yeah, just some
quality of life
stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. Then we've got, they also showed off the new Starfield DLC coming, which for me, I've played Starfield, and I'm not, it just felt like Skyrim in space.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's the Starfield fan here? Because there's usually one.
There's none of us. Like,
nah.
I have an absolute love-hate with Bethesda.
Okay.
And a lot of it stems back to we've talked about this before. It stems back to Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Elder Scrolls.
Oblivion.
Matt's
Oblivion.
Matt's love-hate is I love the old stuff and I hate the new stuff.
But Oblivion, I had gone and just done all the side stuff. Like just before I did the main quest, that's how I used to play Elder Scrolls, going back to Daggerfall and all of that. So 120 hours in, I've got all the Jade armor. Like I'm stacked. So I'm like, okay, let's go do the quest now. Second quest in, you have to kill 2 assassins. The second assassin never popped and glitched. And of course, back then, I wasn't the gamer that I am now, running multiple save files. I had one. And once it auto-saved, it was that was it. It was done, gone. So 120 hours just went up in smoke.
Oh, that would have burnt me too.
I have only done this once, but I pulled that disc out of my system, threw it against the wall, and broke it. Like it was like, yeah. So ever since then, it's like, we all know Bethesda's got the bugs. They're always something in it, but Starfield didn't resonate with me like some of the other people it has, right? There are people that absolutely love the game. And I will say this, when you're planet side on some of those remote planets, it is absolutely gorgeous. The amount of detail that Bethesda did for the skies, how the stars are all in there, the solar flare type, on the lensing and stuff. It's great. It just didn't resonate with me. I hope the expansion does give those players enough, of what they're looking for out of the game, and can kind of carry it on for a little while, because I know they have DLC planned out for that for a little while still.
Yeah.
But after that, you've got they did Indiana Jones again, which, how do you feel about Indiana Jones?
I'm hyped for this game. It's funny. I tweeted out that I was super excited that we got a release date and it's coming day one with Game Pass, and like nobody cared. And I'm like, wow, that, like, for me, I'm so stoked that Troy Baker does such a good voice match for Harrison Ford. Like,
he's doing a great job.
He's doing a great job.
Oh yeah.
And like, I am all for a game where I get to put on the detective hat sometimes and the action gamer hat other times. And I, at a press briefing, and I'm allowed to talk about this now because the embargo just went up today with the Gamescom launch. I did confirm that they're going to have separate difficulty sliders for those two aspects of the game, which I always really appreciate, because I want those puzzles as hard as they can be.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about that hand-to-hand combat or using that whip. So like, if I can tone one down and scale the other one up, I'm a happy lady. So they did say they're going to do that. So I think it looks good. I think it sounds good. The music is perfect. Like, as a film fan, I'm excited.
I'm a little bit more skeptical. I'm gonna watch the trailer one more time on the gameplay, but I really want to see how it handles, and how the gameplay for me is the biggest thing.
It's going to be how those punches land, how the hand combat
that like are we like, what kind of first person controls are we looking? Kind of like Borderlands or like Far Cry, or what is it being kind of compared to? But same thing as the filmmaker in me. Any new story, I'm down for. I just gameplay is just the biggest question for me.
We'll see. I know they showed a bit of, I don't know if they showed it today in the official presentation, but the press presentation, they showed also almost like a Hitman aspect to it, where Indy's going to have to like take on different disguises to get into certain areas, and so there's going to be a little bit of that gameplay in there too. And I know they put a lot of emphasis on the feel of the hand-to-hand combat. Now, none of us have felt it, so we're all just kind of taking them at their word at this point, but maybe.
But yeah,
I think that's
interested in that too.
For me, that's the biggest question mark for Indy, is how the first person is going to feel, right? Because you do have those aspects where they do show it in a third person, and for all of those, all of us that are pretty much like Uncharted junkies and Tomb Raider junkies, like for us, that third person just feels so right. So to go back to a first person, let's see how they do it. Because frankly, for me, I'd want to see it in third person, because I don't want to see myself dressed up as Indiana Jones. Like, let me see it.
No, I think the first person is going to be really interesting, just because like Resident Evil did that. It went from third person to first person. And everyone,
which was also a good move.
It was a hard way that people were like, oh, how's this going to work? Because we've been so used to having for almost 20 years third person, like terrible camera angles, etc., but now you have first person and everything's coming to you, like to your face. So I mean, it has potential. I'm 50-50. I personally am just going to wait for Jerry to get it and just hang out with Jerry and play, but I'm not going to probably pick it up myself.
There will be one day when the curiosity just gets too much to me, and I will get it.
So I'm just going to wait for Jerry to
it
pick
always
it up.
happens.
Like, Jerry, you got it ready?
I got it.
See, I'll just do it on xCloud, and then I can do it with
Day one Game Pass, guys.
Yep.
There you go.
Day one Game Pass.
Yeah, so I don't have like an Xbox console. I just do it through xCloud for mine, because there isn't enough for me. There's not enough franchises on Xbox that resonate with me outside of Halo and Forza to warrant having a console. But that being said, when Fable hits, that might change some things.
That's the other thing. I'm trying to get all my ducks in order, because I do want to get a console just to be ready for the like Fable, the Gears. Oh man, yeah, I'm ready. I want to be
At
ready.
that point,
And most of the day one Game Pass is also available on PC. Don't forget.
yep.
Oh, yep, that's right.
You know,
That's true.
being it, Theo's our resident PC gamer.
Mhm.
So
Well, I'm filling in for tonight.
Nice.
Nice.
So with all the announcements that we've had with Gamescom, and you had the Xbox presser and all of that, what games are you looking forward to that are coming, the most that are coming out over the next like 6 months to a year?
I mean, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is pretty high up there
Yes.
for me.
Love it. Can't wait.
I mean,
Can't
you're kind of wearing the Triforce. I mean, that's like
I know, right?
I
I also love it. Yes.
I wear this necklace
Amazing.
so often that I swear one of these summers I'm gonna have a Triforce tan line right here because
Yep.
it's one of those like, if you know what it is, but
Yeah.
it's not
Mhm.
like a big Mario head or something that's gonna stand out when you're out
Yeah.
and about in daily life. And it matches everything, so I wear it all the time. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm a very big Zelda fan, and
Awesome.
I have a Master Sword just hanging out over there.
The fact we're getting playable Zelda
Yeah, playable
know,
Zelda.
right?
I hope it's good.
in the style of Link's Awakening, which I know my kids are excited for.
I think because it's in the style of Link's Awakening, I think it's going to be good. It's kind of a safe way to kind of bring it out. But I'm still extremely excited. I can't wait. I loved the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Oh
now.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Path of Exile 2. I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a bunch of good games coming out, and I need to hurry up and finish Baldur's Gate 3 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth before all these games drop. Dragon Age, the Veilguard, I'm so looking forward to.
Hey, don't feel bad because Jerry still hasn't finished Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Me neither.
Oh, really?
I streamed the whole first half of the game dressed as Tifa. And then
that's awesome.
The game was taking so long that I gave up on it. The first Final Fantasy 7 remake, I streamed the whole game dressed as Tifa. And I was like,
cool.
We're doing the whole trilogy in Tifa cosplay. But Rebirth is so long that I'm like, sorry guys, I can't.
Well,
Jerry's got till the first weekend of October to finish it.
It's finished.
Oh,
is
you
it finished?
Yep.
Oh, it's about bloody time.
We finished it today.
Because then
I did not finish it alone. I did have some guidance with my boy Jason. I am not. Jay, no, dude. I am humbled. Like you helped me out. You definitely helped me out because I was literally just having trouble with the final fight. The final fight with Sephiroth was the only thing, and it was at the final.
Jerry.
I mean,
everybody knows that part.
Sephiroth.
We won't talk about the ending.
Boss.
I know that's going to happen, but no spoilers. I mean,
no spoilers.
No.
But just it was the final part.
The final fight
with Sephiroth.
The final
was
fight.
Just
Jerry was having trouble.
Give me a little trouble. So
and I just went over there and I was like, you know what? I'll throw you the softball. I'll throw you the softball.
He adjusted the materia just so.
He adjusted a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot. He adjusted a lot of it.
I'm not gonna lie. He definitely helped me out. I was like,
all right.
Okay, now I get it. Now I'm seeing. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Now we won't have to disappoint the crew when we all see him for dinner. Jerry.
Yes, I am.
We can actually tell them you finished their game.
I did.
We'll tell him I finished it for Jerry. That's what it is.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Finish it for Jerry.
It's all family.
No.
I mean, Austin and Vic and Mal and John and Caleb and William. They're all gonna get a kick out of the fact that you spent all that time and then had to have Jason do it.
I really did need help. Yeah,
so,
I haven't told you. Like I was like, bro, you have to do this and this, and he was like, okay, got it.
What are friends for?
Yeah.
But that's the one thing is with that voice acting crew, we have like a standing tradition now that every year for the last couple of years we've gotten together for dinner. Like all of us just get together, talk about family, whatever.
Love it.
We don't even talk about Final Fantasy most of the time. We just treat.
Yeah, we really just catch up for the year.
You know, we haven't seen each other in a
Couple
year.
years.
Let's all catch up. How the kids? How
Yeah.
how's all that going and whatnot? And but I would
It's
say this,
fitting. It's always fitting we meet at a barbecue place because, like, we just get the large table, get some barbecue, and we're all just
we just don't get our discount
catching
anymore.
up. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's
Wait,
too
you
bad.
had a barbecue discount in?
Yeah.
Lucille's.
Ooh.
He used to work
I used
there,
to
so he
work for the
get
catering, the
discount.
catering department.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, so outside of that, so anything else that you're looking forward to, even on the horizon, outside like past Path of Exile and Zelda and Indie?
Not even game wise, just like
Movie, anything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine's my favorite film of the year so far.
Oh,
But
so good.
How
I
many
don't know
times?
what's gonna
Okay,
be able to top that.
how many times have you seen it in theaters?
Only once
Okay.
so far,
So,
and I took the day off work to do it. And I'd love to see it again, but I can't keep taking time off work to see
So
it.
It
I don't know.
is
I don't know
just
if you're
as
an
funny.
Aliens fan, but I just saw Romulus.
Oh,
It was awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'll say. Yeah,
I mean,
it was
still
really
have
good.
nightmares about xenomorphs, so I am
Ooh,
hesitant to see it.
ooh,
I mean-
it goes back. Like, honestly, 95% of the movie felt more like the first Aliens.
Okay.
And I would just say I had one gripe with the movie.
Okay. Can you share the gripe in a non-spoilery way?
It was. I can't. Not really, because it
You
was at the
can't,
very.
okay.
It was at the very end. Really.
Okay.
Actually, that's the only thing. At the very end was what I had a gripe with, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
All right.
once you get to see it.
Yeah.
I
I'm
will
looking
see it
forward
with
to-
all the lights on, very, very brightly at like 10
Like, no,
a.m.
I'm telling you, no joke. I was like this. The reason why I enjoyed it so much was I got those jump scares. Like, they brought it back to old Alien. So like I was, and
Yes.
like the of course you have to have a burst, moment.
Ugh.
Oh man,
I knew they were
It
going
was
back
so
that
good.
way.
it
from,
was
like,
so good.
the newest trailer that they released. That I got to see before
They brought it
Deadpool.
back. Like I was really happy with it.
I knew they were going that route when they kind of showed some of it, but then when you see the pulse rifle, like when they show the predecessor to the Colonial Marine pulse rifle, I was like, yeah, they're bringing this back.
Yeah.
But
Did
I will
anyone
say this,
play
Trisha,
Alien Isolation?
I have not yet, but it makes me want to try it.
I tried a little bit of it. It was it's way better now with the updates.
Alien Isolation is
yeah.
one of the scariest video games I have ever played. Now, maybe that's because I have a history of like having seen the original Alien movie when I was way too young to have watched it. But yeah, one of the scariest games I've ever played.
Yeah, real. So it is. Yeah.
So I will say this, Trisha, Deadpool and Wolverine
So good.
was just as funny and just as good the second time around.
Oh, I bet it's even funnier because you
Oh,
can
yeah.
It
pick
is.
up more of the Easter eggs.
Yes. I went the weekend. Theo and I went and saw it one weekend. Took myself on a movie date myself, just went and saw it, and man, it was so good. Like, I loved it.
So good. My husband and I took an afternoon off to go see it together. And there were so many times during the film that we just looked at each other like, oh my God, I can't believe they just said that.
Right.
It was so funny.
And for me, it was really, and I think the general consensus is that it was the perfect kind of like full circle moment for the Fox universe. Like Reynolds did such a great homage to that whole
Well,
like verse, I guess, really. And yeah, it was so good.
Well, Ryan now is trying to get a Logan style Blade movie done.
Yeah,
He
and
wants-
apparently the
He
fans are
is-
starting to ask,
Yes.
heavily ask for it.
They want to send Wesley Snipes' Blade out, kind of like Logan. And then
love that.
he's
I love that
also
movie.
helping
That'd be sick.
drive things with Kevin Feige that we're actually going to get Gambit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, they're really, really starting to try and talk to Feige about that now. Is like, let's do Gambit. Let's do Channing Tatum as Gambit. And
I don't know that I can take that dialect for a whole movie.
I
could.
Can I get a different dialect, coach?
I
mean, one that's not the Minions.
Like, yeah, I think it was good, and I think that's why it got popular for what it is for the cameo, because it was passable and it was good.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
But I think
Yes.
for the movie, I think, like you said it, Trisha, definitely would need a dialect coach. Because I mean, yeah, I agree. Because
But here's the thing:
it definitely would need to be a bit tightened up. And the thing is, Tatum has the background for it.
Okay.
Like he's from Louisiana, so like,
Cool.
yeah.
But
But
the
it
thing
was
is, that's
funny.
how Gambit is in the
It was really
comics,
funny.
though. He's got
Yeah.
that ridiculous accent.
Yeah, but
and
you can
speaks in the
you could
Cajun.
still understand him though.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you have to be able to understand
Yeah.
it. Like even if you're watching X-Men 97, if you're watching old school animated, you can
Yeah.
understand what he's saying.
So that's why I think the fans will accept that.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah, it's fine because we're so used to it to the cartoon. But you know, I definitely think it was like the surprise and the coolness of it
It was
with
still great.
Gambit and Tatum. Like that was just
It was awesome.
yeah. And the lines he came up with, like, oh, I'm gonna make a name of it, like so good.
So good.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So I think for me, I'm looking forward to Zelda. Like that
Really?
is like there's not a lot right now like
Oh, really?
coming out that I'm terribly excited for, but I think because more of it as a parent. Like so for me it's Zelda and Astro. Like my kids
Oh,
keep
yeah.
asking me, "Hey, is Astro out yet? How many days left do we got? Like, can you go check the timer?" Like they're so
awesome.
excited for that.
Cute.
And even beyond that, it's Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm
Okay.
at. You know, everything else will, you know, come out because we don't know a lot of what's going on with PlayStation Studios right now. You know, outside of Wolverine, we know
Yep.
that Sony Santa Monica is working on something new. We know Naughty Dog is working on something. We don't know what. So for me, it's just, hey, I'll go with what I really love, which is Zelda and Metroid
Yep.
and whatnot. And until then, I've decided I'm now through into Mass Effect 3. I'm doing a full-on run through them right now.
Good for you.
Oh, nice.
And oh yeah, and I missed the platinum on the first run through of Mass Effect 2 by 5 warps. That's it. Like, so I have to go back, or 5 incinerations. So I have to go back through and start it from the beginning to kind of do that. But like, man, BioWare did such a good job on the Legendary Edition, and it just looks so good. And you know, being able to now, like, as I'm sitting there playing it, you know, part of it was with Fan Expo Denver, we got, you know, Jennifer Hale, we had Fred Tatasciore, and we had Keith David all here. I was like,
cool.
I got to go back through a run, you know, so I'm doing it all the way through, and then I will try and attempt to do my first full run through Andromeda. Like,
nice.
the first time I played Andromeda was back when it first came out, and it was a broken mess and whatnot. But so what are your favorite games that you're playing right now? Like, what is, besides, you know, trying to finish Diablo, but what is your actual like go-to game right now for you, regardless if it's on stream or just your downtime?
Also, I have a second question to that question.
All right. Well, my answer is the reason that I stream so much is because I don't get downtime gaming. The only gaming I get is on stream, which is part of why I am still finishing Baldur's Gate 3 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and Tears of the Kingdom. Those are the 3 games I'm bouncing back and forth between now, because I can't make up my mind. One comes out and I'm like, well, maybe I'm in a Tears mood today. Maybe I'm in a Baldur's Gate mood today.
I'm the same way. I totally get you.
Yeah. So part of the reason I haven't finished any of them is because I'm doing them all at the same time. I'm 150
and those are
something hours into Baldur's Gate 3
games
at this
oh my
point.
Gosh.
And I'm barely in Act 3, but I am enjoying it so much. I'm like really just chewing through that game. It's beautiful. And yeah, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, my only knock against it, and I love Final Fantasy 7. I mean, I was going to do the whole thing dressed as Tifa. The open worldness of it is too big for me. And I am getting too distracted running around catching all the shinies that I completely forget what the main story is. And I'm like, all right, I gotta do the proletariat thing. Now I gotta get this tower. Now I'm collecting what for Johnny? And what are we do? What's the main mission? And normally what keeps me hooked in a Final Fantasy game is the story, right? It keeps me pulled along. They, in my opinion, they went too big with Rebirth, and I lost it. I lost the, like, I should be going to bed at night wondering what's going to happen to these characters I love so much. Yeah. And instead, I'm like, what are they doing?
What part in Rebirth are you at right now?
I'm in chapter 9 right now. And they just got to the point where they split the boys and the girls up, and the boys went and got in trouble. And now I'm the girls and I got to go save them. Yeah. And that's where I am right now. But that was after, like,
right after,
I don't know, I feel like 2 to 3 hours of side stuff, and then you get like 20 minutes of real story, and then 2 to 3 hours of side stuff, 20 minutes of real story. And it's just, for me, I don't have the attempt. Like, I need to be pulled along.
I get that, and I kind of suffered from the same thing where I had to kind of cut myself off and just focus on the story, because so I knew some other games were coming out that I wanted to, and finally end up finishing it. So once again, thank you, bro. Thank you, dude.
No problem, bro. No problem, bro. No, I mean, like, I get it, because it's like the same with Assassin's Creed. What I always call it, I call it squirreling.
That's a completionist's dream.
Yeah, you just have to complete it. Like, you see all these
Assassin's Creed. Like, I need to complete that whole map. I
mean, that's how I am with the Spider-Man games.
It's squirreling.
Oh yeah,
you just squirrel around and just grab everything. And like, oh wait, where am I? Oh yeah, this is the main mission.
When I'm streaming, a lot of times I only have 3 or 4 hours at a clip to stream.
So
right. So when you talk about a game like Baldur's Gate 3 that I'm over 150 hours in on, think of how many streams that's been. Right? It's like months of my life. And then it's funny because, like, I convinced my husband to play Baldur's Gate 3. He doesn't play a lot of video games, but every now and then I'm like, look, this is a good one. You want to put in the time on this one, babe. And so he started playing Baldur's Gate 3. But because I fall asleep at like 9:30, he'll stay up and play Baldur's Gate 3 till like 2:30 in the morning by himself.
That's awesome.
And he's not running a stream at the same time. So he has now surpassed where I am in the story in the span of like 4 weeks. And I'm like, look, I am months into this.
Did you get this part yet?
Oh, you're not there yet?
No. I know, I have to keep reminding him not to tell me. Because he's like, you got to this part, so obviously you found out that this is this. And I'm like, no, that didn't happen in my playthrough, but now I know.
Oh no.
Like, thanks a lot. You're sleeping on the couch now.
So my second my question, is there a game that is your go-to, like, comfort game if you're in between or get fatigued on a game you're working on? Because I have mine, and the guys give me crap on mine all the time.
You guys give me
I
crap
am addicted.
on mine.
Well, that is true, because we are addicted to them. But there are comfort games. That's what I'm calling them. So I was just wondering if you have one of those.
So I have 2 of them that I consider my comfort games for, like, I have 20 minutes and need to just be out. So I have different games that are comfort games if I have a few hours.
Yeah. Nice.
But my, like, I've got 20 minutes. It's been a hard day. You know, I'll go downstairs and work on the kitchen in 20 minutes. But right now I just need to this. Mini Motorways.
I don't know that one.
I get real hard into the indie scene. I produce an indie games showcase every Tuesday on my Twitch channel. And so I play 5 to 7 new indies every week.
Oh, cool.
And every now and then I'll find an indie that I'm like,
that's just a gem, and like,
it scratches that itch.
Yeah.
Mini Motorways is the silly indie game that scratches that itch for me hard when I just need to, like, brain shut off and zen out into something. That's it. And you can get it done in like 20 minutes. You can get done a run in like 20 minutes. So it's
sweet.
That and Into the Breach. Into the Breach is my other like.
Okay.
I got like 20 to 30 minutes.
I need to go back and finish it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good. But yeah, those are my quickie ones. And then I guess if I needed like my comfort game, maybe like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, or a Sims. Cool. If I have like a lot of time to just zen. But again, those are the games that I feel like I can put it on autopilot. And that's why they're my comfort games.
Yeah.
What's yours that everyone laughs at? I need to know now.
Red Dead 2.
Why is Red Dead 2 your comfort game?
Oh, fishing, hunting. I go through.
Okay.
I like. Me and my stepdad. First, like, kind of. We found a love for Kevin Costner and his movies, and then we just fell in love with like westerns. So that was kind of our like, kind of starting for our relationship in type of thing. So I really started loving westerns.
Cool.
And that, that's it. Like that's really basically it. I love old westerns, spaghetti westerns, and then when the first Red Dead came out, I was in. And then when I saw the trailer for number 2, for PS4, the
When you
updated
fought the
graphics.
bear,
Oh
you were
my
in.
God, I was
Yep.
hooked. Collector's
Dude,
edition day of.
We
I
give
warned
him
the
so
guys,
much
like,
crap.
I'm telling you right now, you will not speak to me online for at least a month.
Nice.
I'm telling you right.
We don't go to
Yeah.
get online, right? And we're like, hey, where are you at? He's like, I'm still fishing. Like,
Just fishing.
And,
there's
like,
a whole reason that
yeah.
FF7 remake didn't get finished in a timely manner
Yeah.
because he decided to go back to doing
because I
Red
wanted to
Dead.
do another run. I'm currently on my 5th full run of Red Dead 2.
I love that.
Yeah.
And
So
mine
that's
is
yeah.
mine's Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Aww.
I have between 2 different Switches, I have almost 2,000 hours into my island.
Only 2,000.
Since
Only
launch. Well,
2,000.
that's
Yeah.
since launch. So
But I mean,
literally,
it launched right at the beginning of pandemic.
Pandemic.
That was
The
everybody's
perfect time.
pandemic
Yes.
go-to.
At the perfect time. Yeah.
And
And how many remodels of your island where you have started completely over?
you mean wipe my island and rebuilt it? You
Yeah.
know,
Because there
That's
are
what
a
we get
number
you
of
on. That's what
yeah,
we get you on.
that's a
We don't-
number of times, dude.
I think I just with the final touches I just did, I think this is number 7. Where I
Oh
will
my gosh.
like what I'll
From
do is I will
scratch.
pull everything off the island, like all the different furniture pieces and everything. I'll put it in storage. I will terraform it down, bare bones it. Start moving the neighborhoods and start putting everything in and just
From scratch.
From scratch.
I
That's
just
the
finished
thing.
putting the final touches on it. And normally we're usually talking about where I put things. So a couple of people online had been asking to see the island. So I just posted a video yesterday of a tour of my
sweet.
island.
Because
that's
you
so
can't
It's
funny.
it's out on YouTube. You follow me on Twitter or whatever, you can go find it there.
That's so funny.
And what's funny is
Oh.
I did, for the one that doesn't go out on YouTube that I posted like to Twitter and stuff, I put the song Island in the Sun by Weezer
Oh,
as the music
sweet.
for the video, and it just fit perfectly.
Very nice.
But yeah, so all right, Trista. So before we get going, there's one question we have for you. It's a question we ask of all of our guests. Kind of plays into
Yeah.
the
Every
name
single
of the podcast.
Okay.
So when you are able to have like a game night with family and friends, like everybody comes over, you're gonna have kind of like a game night. What is your go-to game for game night, regardless if it's a console game, a board game, card game, whatever it
Yeah.
is?
So when I have game night with my friends, it's usually a tabletop game night.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then it
Sweet.
depends which friends, because there are some friends that are Axis and Allies friends,
Yes.
and there are other friends that are like Cards Against Humanity codenames friends,
Yep.
right? So
Totally. Gotcha.
But I would say that my go-tos are probably Seven Wonders, Munchkin, Red Dragon Inn, or is it Tavern? I don't know. It's been a while since I played that one.
Yep.
Secret Hitler, Code Names, and Cards Against Humanity.
Nice.
Nice.
I just bring
Nice.
out the
Those are good
stack
ones.
Yeah.
based on
It
who's
is.
over, and then let them.
It is very nice to hear somebody mention Axis and Allies, though. That was a game I got introduced to in high school with my buddies. We had the house rule, though, that if you could, like, you could go set up like industrial complexes in like some other, area and kind of try and win your way back. So, like, I'm the new guy. They stuck me with England. Like, so like I had to basically start in like playing Risk out of South Africa and just slowly start
You can
marching
get it.
back.
Yeah.
It's
It's
doable.
fine. Yeah. I'm more
But,
of a Risk guy versus Axis and Allies.
For me though, it is either Ticket to Ride
Okay.
or it's Settlers.
Ooh, Settlers is good.
Jerry won't play Settlers with me anymore.
No,
No.
yeah, that's
No, I'm just kidding.
I have this knack of rolling sevens.
You're very annoying.
So anyway, so
Yeah.
with that, Trisha, I want to thank you for coming on. We got to get you. I know you've got the kiddo and everything, and I've got to go be a dad too. It is a school night officially in this household. Both boys are now back in school. Yep. But thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
It was great.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, this is one of those ones I look at the time. I'm like, how is it already an hour? Because like, it's been great talking to you. We could probably talk on and on and on about a whole bunch of things. You are more than welcome to come back anytime. Even on nights, we stream at the same time. Even if it's something you're bored on night, just hit me up and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna come crash." But to everybody out there, you know what? Go check out Trisha's profile on our contributors and guest page. It has all of her links to all of her stuff right on there, in her bio, including going directly to her website. First time crashing with us, thank you for catching us tonight. Drop us a follow if you like what you heard. And honestly, guys, with everything, and this kind of goes back to one of my favorite movies of all time, but just with everything going on in the world right now, and whatnot, people are struggling and stuff. Just please be excellent to each other.
That's right, all my nerds. Trisha, thank you so much for joining. And you have an open pass. And anytime you want to crash, please, or even just crash and give us your thoughts on a subject we're on. Quick and easy, please. Anytime you want to visit.
Thank you. I love that.
Awesome. And once again, everybody, we want to spread the same message. Let's just try to do and be a little better. Let's just try and exercise a little bit more patience. Let's lend a helping hand here and there. Let's just try just try to do a little bit more good, and be safe out there. And thank you all. You guys be you. You guys do you. And thank you, nerds.
You do
J-Rock. J-Rock.
You boo.
You do you, boo. To J-Rock. Lions
Anyways,
Mane,
guys, again, Trish, thank you so much. Again, welcome on this couch. I do plan on getting a new one soon. It's just been on my mind, we just
couch is 2 years old, Jay. Come on.
It's on the to-do list.
I just gotta go shopping. It's right up there with finishing up games, It's finishing games for Jerry too. It's up there too. So but again, anytime, welcome. Just like Matt said, just crash on in. That's part of our thing.
Yep,
we love
part
when
of it.
Just crash.
Yep.
But yeah, like Jerry said, everything always takes my stuff. So, be nice, be kind, rewind. I don't have Theo here. Theo's normally my outro guy, but yeah, again, we're in August. Just be thoughtful. Yeah. Yep. I want to probably just send it out very nonchalantly, very chill. Matt's laughing because
you get after me.
He knows it's a lie. My man, Theo.
I always end my streams by telling people to stay safe, stay healthy, and be kind to one another.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
We're all gamers. We love games. Play a lot of games. Have fun.
Yeah.
I'll say something else, and I was like, oh wait, hold on. Anyways, Matt, send us out like Theo does.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Good night, everybody.